This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. This entire George Santos story, this saga, has been remarkable. And also right in line with how Republicans want to comport themselves and do their business. Just liars. Absolute fabricators of facts. And he's now facing both a federal and local investigation. I'm going to get to that. The New York Times reporting, the New York Times investigation into his background that has uncovered remarkable numbers of things that he just outright lied about. But before I get to that, I've seen these tweets floating around, these screenshots of tweets of him claiming that his mother died on 9/11, and also that her death anniversary is December 23rd. And oftentimes when you see tweets, you're like, maybe that's just a fake Photoshop thing. But I went. And I took these screenshots myself. I found these tweets myself. They are real. On July 12th, 2021, he said, 9/11 claimed my mother's life, so I'm blocking so I don't have to read this again. Some account he was replying to, indicating that 9/11, the event of 9/11, the planes flying into the buildings in New York is what claimed his mother's life. And then in December, just last year, December 23rd, just about a year ago, he said, December 23rd, this year marks 5 years I lost my best friend and mentor. Mom, you will live forever in my heart. It's almost like a diagnosable mental illness or something with this guy. I hesitate to say that because I don't want to stigmatize people with real mental illness, but this is not normal lying. This isn't embellishment. This is easily verifiable information that he's just openly and publicly lying about. And now it seems there may be consequences. Reading from this New York Times story, George Santos faces federal and local investigations and public dismay. Most importantly, New York Times, the public dismay. Prosecutors said on Wednesday that they would examine Mr. Santos, who has admitted lying about his work and educational history during his campaign. The federal investigation, which is being run by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Brooklyn, is focusing at least in part on his financial dealings, according to a person familiar with the matter. The investigation was said to be in its early stages. And that is one good news, because there's very likely financial impropriety going on, because he can't explain where he came up with nearly $1 million to fund his campaign. Now, there's also reporting that money has been funneled through an intermediary, a relative of a Russian oligarch. We'll see. Once the investigation starts gaining ground, I'm sure we'll learn more details. But in a separate inquiry, I'll go back to the New York Times here. In a separate inquiry, the Nassau County, New York District Attorney's Office said it was looking into the numerous fabrications and inconsistencies associated with congressman-elect Santos during his successful 2022 campaign to represent parts of Long Island and Queens. Now, I don't know what they're going to be looking into other than the financial irregularities that raise very serious questions about this man who has now been elected to Congress to have power over other Americans, power over their everyday lives through his votes. And this is why. Both investigations followed the reporting in the New York Times that uncovered that Mr. Santos had made false claims about his educational and professional background, including whether he worked at Citigroup and Goldman Sachs. The Times also found that Mr. Santos had admitted key details about his business on required financial disclosures. Questions remain about how Mr. Santos has generated enough personal wealth to be able, as campaign finance filings show, to lend his campaign $700,000. Mr. Santos has said his money comes from his company, the DeVolder organization, but has provided little information about its operations. It also is, I guess, defunct now. because of a filing error or something of that nature. So this wildly wealthy person who doesn't own a home, who lives with his sister, this family basement dweller has enough cash, has enough scratch to loan his campaign almost $1 million. It doesn't make any sense. We're going to see this go to an investigatory stage where we will learn the outcome. I wouldn't expect this, just as a matter of keeping our expectations appropriate to where they should be. I wouldn't expect him to be removed from office early. An investigation of this sort is going to drag on. It's going to take time. They're going to do their due diligence. It is, especially with this DOJ, really being careful, playing it by the books, being reticent to accelerate the pace of any investigation, even very serious ones like those with Donald Trump. So let's temper our expectations. What do you think? 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. Follow me on social media. I am at Dollemore on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you appreciate what I do and I bring you some value, please consider supporting my work. You can become a channel member by clicking the button below, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.